So, do you remember Palmer the fisherman? He found a mermaid in a rock pool and he picked her up and he was going to bring her back to the sea. Now then, as they began to walk down to the sea, the mermaid whispered in Palmer's ear, "Fisherman, you've been so kind to me that I will now give you 3 wishes. What 3 wishes would you like?" And Palmer thought, well, this is the Victorian days, and if you are poor, you cannot afford to go to a doctor. So if you had eczema, let's say, and you began to scratch your arm, and let's say the eczema got infected because there was no cream for you, then eventually the doctor would have to cut your arm off just because you had eczema. So Palmer, carrying the heavy mermaid, said, "For my first wish, give me the power to heal." And the mermaid said, "That power is yours. What about your second wish?" And Palmer remembered when he was a little boy, his dad came to him and his dad said, "Boy, come here. I've got 2 pennies here. I want you to go down to Pool Harbour and I want you to buy some bacon and some eggs and some bread and some butter because we're going to have a feast tonight." "Oh, thanks, Dad. Yes, I will." And Palmer, he ran down the beach, ran down the sandy beach of sandbanks and he dropped the coin. He dropped the coin in the sand. He stopped. He looked around. He couldn't see it. And so he began to dig in the sand, dig for the coin. And you know that if you start digging for something in sand, you usually end up burying it deeper and deeper and deeper. And as the afternoon wore on and the setting sun burnt the back of his neck, the little boy Palmer got up and he started to make his way home to his dad. And his dad said, "Well, boy, where's the food? Where's the food?" Dad, I'm sorry, Dad, I'm sorry, Dad, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, Dad, I'm really sorry." And his dad just looked at him, disappointed, folded his arms, and turned his back on him. So Palmer said to the mermaid, "For my second wish, give me the power to find things which are lost." And the mermaid said, "That power is yours." By now, he was trousers up in the salt sea spume, and the waves smacked him as he carried the mermaid. And she said, "What's your third wish?" And Palmer said, "Oh, my third wish is easy. Let me give the first 2 wishes onto my children, my grandchildren, and generation after generation." The mermaid said, "That power of you is yours." And he lowered her into the sea. Suddenly, her tail whipped around him and squeezed him tight. "What are you doing? I can't breathe. What are you doing? I can't breathe." And she looked at him and she grabbed his face and she said, "Come with me. Come with me. Please come with me. I'm the only one left. I'm so lonely. Come with me, and I will show you 1,000 shimmering shipwrecks. I will show you the Great Barrier Reef, colors no human being has ever seen before. I will show you the Sea of Japan and all its wonders. Come with me, come with me." Palmer looked at her, and Palmer thought, she's very beautiful, very beautiful, more beautiful than his wife, because his wife had worked hard all her life and her hands were gnarly and hard from all the hard work and her back was bent and she looked after him and she loved him and she would always love him. And he realized for the first time in many years he was in love with his wife. And so he said, "No, no, I won't come with you." The mermaid grimaced, held him tightly, and then said, "I understand. But in 9 years' time, if you see me wave from the sea, come to me then." And Palmer thought in 9 years' time, his own back would be broken with hard work, his arms cut with fishing hooks and wire. He would have lost all of his teeth, all of his hair would have been useless, poverty-stricken and old. And he said, yes, in 9 years' time, I'll come with you. And the mermaid slithered out into the sea. And from 1,000 yards out, she waved and dived beneath the waves. Well, Palmer went back onto the beach, unable to believe what had just happened, and said, come on, dog, come with me, we're going home. Well, he lived about 5 miles up the beach in a small fisherman's hut with a slate roof. And he had told his children, don't climb on the roof when I'm away. But his little son, who was about 10, said, well, Dad's not here, I'm going to climb on the roof. And he climbed on the roof and he sat on the roof. But it was dangerous because the sea mist would have come in and made that roof very slippery. The boy looked up and saw the dog coming round the headland and said, oh, Dad's here, I better get off. And he slipped, and he fell off the roof, and his head hit a post, and his skull split open. Blood streamed down. His mother came out, what's wrong with you? Oh, my goodness. And he ran away from his mum. He was frightened. He ran round the garden and bang, straight into his dad. And his dad said, stop there, boy. Stop. Hold still. And his dad put his hand an inch above the boy's head. And the boy said, oh, Dad, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's hot, Dad. It's hot, Dad. It's hot. Dad, my skin isn't broken anymore. I've stopped bleeding. You've healed me. I have, son. I've healed you. Don't climb on the roof again. Right, Mother? Get the 2 girls out. He had twin daughters and they both had asthma. And this is the Victorian days. If you had asthma, you went to bed for 7 years. The girls came out and one of the girls said, hi, Dad. Hi, Dad. And Palmer said, are you all right today? Dad, we got up this morning and we were able to play for a little bit. Shh, quiet now. Palmer put his hand on the girl's back, an inch away from the girl's back, and the girl said, Dad, what are you doing? My back, it's getting really hot. Dad, what are you doing? Dad, what are you doing? Dad, I can breathe. And for the first time in her life, she pulled into her lungs fresh, crisp, sweet sea air. He cured the other girl too. And then he went around the whole neighborhood, curing everybody. People used to come up to him and say, oh, Mr. Palmer, I've lost my wedding ring. I don't know where it is. And he used to say, give me your hand. Your wedding ring is under the flower pot on the back step. Oh, thanks, Mr. Palmer. Thanks, Mr. Palmer. He used to find things which are lost. He used to cure people and take no money for it. But 9 years later, he was walking with his 19-year-old son on the beach, and his son was saying, you know, Dad, we should buy our own fishing boat. You know, with both of us working now, we could buy our fishing. Dad, what's the matter? Dad, what's the matter? Palmer had stopped, and he was looking out to sea, and his face was wan. And he said, boy, get the boat, get the skiff, boy. And so they both got into the boat, and the boy was on the oars, and the boy pulled them out. Where are we going, Dad? Where are we going? Dad didn't answer. And when they got 1,000 yards out, Palmer looked at his son and said, son, I love you, son. I love all my children. Please tell your mother that I'll always love her. And then he stepped off the boat and fell like a pencil into the sea. And nothing came up, not even his hat. And his son said, Dad, what are you doing? And his son began to row round and round in circles. And after hours of weeping, his son rowed back to shore and pushed the boat up onto the shingle, then jumped out, and as soon as his boots hit the ground, he had the power to heal and the power to find things which are lost. Now, don't ask me what happened here, because his son, that boy, was the best swimmer in Dorset. And on a glassy, calm sea, on his own boat, the best swimmer in Dorset, 9 years later, jumped off. And as soon as he did so, his daughter woke up with the power to heal and the power to find things that are lost. And 9 years after that, that young woman, wrapped in her boat cloak, the people in the pub saw this. She walked down the jetty on that stormy night. They saw her illuminated by the lightning. First she was there, then she was gone. And as soon as she hit the water, her sister woke up with the power to heal and the power to find things which are lost. If you go down to Poole now, today, and if you come into Poole by the Hamworthy Road, on the left-hand side, you will see a tall or a long building, and that's called Hamworthy Marine Engineering. Don't look there. Look across the way, because there you'll see a small boatyard. Palmer's, the boat builders. You see, the Palmer family, they'd given up fishing. They were fed up of losing members of family every 9 years, and they started building boats instead. But the day they gave up fishing was the day they lost the power to heal and the power to find things which are lost. And that is the end of the story.